Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Male-Female Dynamic, discovering how to ignite more passion, intimacy, and connection in your relationship. Hi, my name is Ellie Deutsch, and with me today is the distinguished Dr. Paula Smith, who I'm so thrilled decided to join us here, and because she does some really unique stuff, some really intriguing stuff that I'm so pumped up to hear about, and also I'm pumped up to hear about how she's going to offer different tips and ideas that's going to hopefully benefit all of you guys, our esteemed audience and viewers and listeners. So without further ado, before we get into it, of course, we'll ask Dr. Paula to just give us a quick synopsis of like who she is and what she's up to and how she got into this whole helping people arena, and in particular in terms of relationships, etc. And then we'll hear about some ideas, advice, philosophies that hopefully we can integrate into our lives. Hi, Dr. Paula.
Hello, Ellie. How are you?
I'm good, thank God. So happy you're here with us. So what's your story? What are you up to? Go ahead.
My story is that it's all about the couples for me. A couple is a couple is a couple is a couple. That's all I do. I work with couples. And I've been doing exclusively couples for about 10 years. And what I am is a certified imago therapist, marriage builder, and consultant and teacher. And what I do is I work with couples to help heal the disconnection. And I have several ways that I do that. And the way I'm going to talk about today is what is my free gift, which is unraveling the survival knot. So you see, Ellie, what happens, every couple has a place in their relationship where the energy gets stuck. Now, it's not about the content, because the content, they're trying to talk about something that is usually an issue from long ago, far and away, okay? And so the energy gets stuck between the couple, and then it becomes a knot where they cannot be creative. And so once that knot happens with the couple, it throws them into what I call their reactive survival dance, okay?
Right.
And in that reactive survival dance, really the only thing that can undo that is an exploration into the emotional landscape that has been building up between the couple, so that they can really get an understanding, a deeper understanding of what is driving them to react in this way. So what we don't know, and what we don't really pay attention to a lot of times when couples are also in conflict, is they think that the conflict is about the thing that they're talking about. And usually it isn't. It's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a saying by a guy in a master class, is that the past is a silent voter of our apparent present. So a lot of times couples aren't really even present in their relationship. They're not really even the authors of their own relationship, because the past is silently voting.
Right.
And until we can go in there and integrate whatever those wounds are, whatever is voting in the past, until we can integrate those in the present, the couple is not yet the author of their current relationship.
So
okay? What I do is So what I do is I take, I ask the couple, what is the deepest struggle for you in the relationship? Okay, for each person. So let's say the deepest struggle might be money, or it might be, for another person, it may be fear of abandonment. So what we do is we take, and what happens is it becomes a knot. So now they may be arguing about taking out the trash, but there's this one issue, right? So what I do is I help the couple unravel on each side. So we unravel the fear of abandonment, we unravel. And then what happens is once we unravel, the energy is free to flow. Okay. Right. Because until then, the couple isn't able to be creative there. So how do I unravel? Well, that's a whole two.
That's what I was going to get to.
So what I start with, when a couple comes in, they're not going to just blah, 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 talk about the stuff that they've been talking about for years, because we want to get to a place that's called the main square. And so what's the main square? The main square is usually a truth that has been trying to be spoken, maybe even before the relationship that you're in. You've been trying to speak this truth for years and years and years and years. And it's usually the opposite of what you believe about yourself. So if you believe that you have fear of abandonment, that main square truth is going to be the opposite of, and it's going to be something that you've been trying to say for a long time. Okay? Nice. And so it'll be something like, I'm alive. Somebody actually, when we did this with one woman, she was like, I am connected. I am a lover. I am deeply passionate and intimate. That's what she's been trying to say for a long time. But what happens is been to speak deepest truth. So when we can't speak our deepest truth, we will employ our survival mechanisms. Okay. And so after we get to main square, usually I have a couple will sit there for a while because they've been liberated just by being able to speak that truth. There's a liberation. And so I have them imagine that they're sitting in the park, the sun is shining, they're holding hands, and they just kind of sit there for a while. Okay. So then we go to another place called the core reason. Now, the core reason has to do with what is your main purpose? Why are you in this relationship? Who are you? Okay. And so I have a very specific way that I take couples to the core reason. And it could be something like for me, my core reason, and I discovered this when my wife and I did this exercise in Washington, D.C. I discovered that what I'm supposed to be doing right now, Ellie, is talking to you right now at this moment about healing disconnection. That is my calling in the world. My calling is to be working with couples and helping them to heal disconnection because I was born in it. I was born in the early 60s in the South, in the heart of this the time in my life, deepest purpose through my relationship. Okay, so we discover this core reason in connection with each other. Okay, so once we get to the core reason, then I have couples go to childhood in a very, very different way. Now, we've all been talking about our childhoods. We all know the narratives. We're not going to go, because we want to capture the climate of childhood. We want to capture that thing that's living in you that you know something about, but you're not quite sure. Something is there. So how I take couples into childhood through unraveling the knot is through 5 random images, because the brain takes pictures. The brain sees in pictures. So the couple, and you'll go this way. You'll say something like, it is important to me. It is essential that I say this to you today on March 17th. 2016, on the Male-Female Dynamic Summit at my office at Hope Ortiz Village in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, because when I was a child, and you take that first image and you grab it and you go with it. Okay, so once the partner gets 5 images, what you'll see is an autobiography or a red thread that goes through your life that tells a story. Okay. And so, because what we want to do is the partner typically has struggled in places as a child. Okay, so the partner will read this autobiography, right? Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Ellie. He was, he was this and he was that, and he was alive and he was this and he experienced that. And, and he was wonderful and he was resilient, and something happened and he was alone. So you have the partner now championing for that little boy.
Right. He's
standing up for that.
In your corner, yeah.
Exactly. Where that child struggled alone. Okay. And what it sets up is what's called a contradiction. Okay. And so you need the contradiction of the place where you struggled alone. You are now in the presence of a loving partner.
Nice.
You see self-soothing is great, yoga and meditation, but the eyes are just really wonderful self-soothers for when we at survival place. Okay. So once we go into childhood in that special way, you're going to come out in a very different way. So that which has been silently voting in the relationship has now been integrated in the present. You are now the author of your present, because your partner now has a larger and a bigger understanding of what was driving those behaviors in the past, and now know you in a very different way, and you know yourself in a very different way. So what comes out of this whole process, Ellie, is what I call a new neighborhood under construction. So rather than this neighborhood of fear of abandonment, you're going to come up with something, and that's going to be your map of the future. And couples do those maps together. They come back the next day, and we look at those maps, and that will be what they talk about from now on. So they're not circling around the same old issues over and over and over, getting different points of view on the same pollution.
Right, they're going straight in. So yeah, so I mean, this is awesome, like state of the art stuff. I mean, this is really great stuff that you're giving us here today.
This is 21st century relating.
Yeah, this is awesome. And I want to point out to the audience while we have you here, one of the things that I love about this is you guys see how Dr. Paula can talk all day about this, and which is great, by the way, make my job easy, no doubt about it. But I also want to say that, like, and you go into people, you have like full day or like full weekend meetings with people, isn't that right?
Yeah, we start at 9 a.m. in the morning, and we go until 6:30. And it's so interesting because it's, couples go into what I call the encounter, the soul to soul place. And a lot of the couples, when we're done the first day, they're like, oh my God, the whole day has passed by. But it's because they're in such attention to each other, because I'm really just facilitating what's already there. I'm facilitating what's their connection, or moving their connection. And so couples can come either 1 day or 2 days or 1.5 days. And, we really just get, to what the roots are, what's really impeding you from having connection, so that you can go out there and be the great couple that I know you are, and create the life that you want with each other. So yes, 1 and 2 day intensives. I also do something called healing from an affair, which is a very different process, but overall it really looks at that unconscious that's driving the behaviors that are causing pain in the relationship.
Wow, amazing. Dr. Paula Smith here with us today on the male-female dynamic. So Dr. Paula, here we are. I mean, this is far from a intensive, 9-hour experience with you. But is there something that you can give us that's in a way like we can go ahead and take it, something practical that we can run with it? We're gonna continue with this little interview right now, but is there something that we can that you can give us that you'd recommend for us? Whoa. Yeah, we're froze, but we're back. Okay, so
Yep, we're back.
I was about to ask you. Apologies for that, and we were kind of on the verge of freezing, I think, a few times there. But it's okay. We're back. Authenticity breeds connection, so it's good for the
Absolutely.
audience. The audience sees that we struggle in life just like they do on these programs. Okay,
Yeah, it's the plan of the path, you know.
there you go. Right.
That's why it's the plan of the path.
There you
So
go. So I was in the middle of asking you, and I'm glad it cut me off in my question instead of, all the good stuff you're giving us. So I was going to ask you that, like, so here we are on this little call, this little interview, and it's obviously not the same thing as sitting with you for 9 hours. So, is there something that we can take, an idea or maybe two, that is like more like, okay, look, if you had a nugget of information that you could give to a couple, or to an individual, but more male female, let's keep it, and your thing is couples, let's stick with that, like a little nugget of a practical like switch that, or some kind of tweak that we could make, that, like, we get off the call with you right now, or my audience sees it, that, okay, now I can make a switch in my life, or switch in the dynamic of my relationship right now, and then and that will have like an effect. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely. So
okay.
here's what I would suggest that couples do. Today, get 2 chairs and sit face to face. Take each other's hands and just look. Just look. Look into each other's eyes. Look at each other's facial landscapes, and really begin to see your partner, okay? I want you to look so close at your partner's face that you find something new on their face that you haven't seen before. And when you find something new, I want you to put your finger there, and just put your finger there. There's no conversation, you're just looking. And after you do that, I want you to just close your eyes and just focus on the skin-to-skin contact, holding your partner's hand. And just know that there's a nonverbal language, because the hands never lie. And just feel the skin-to-skin contact. And just do that. No talking. Just really being with each other, being present, and feeling. Because the skin gets hungry because we don't touch each other. So that's something you can do. As a matter of fact, you can do it right now.
Nice, awesome stuff, Dr. Paula Smith, giving us, I don't know if you'd call that a meditation or an exercise, but whatever it is, good, and really great stuff here today. But Dr. Paula, if people want to, find you, if people want to follow up with you, if people want to get more information from you, see more about you, where can we go to do that?
Yeah, you can go to my website at www.paulasmith-imago.com. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Paula Smith, or you can call me or text me. I answer my own phone, 401-782-7899. I speak face-to-face, answer my own phone. I'm willing to speak with you if you have a question about anything that I'm doing, or something that you could do just to, recreate the connection between you and your partner.
Beautiful. Wow, Dr. Paula, thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time to speak with us. And you're also hooking us up with a free gift, I understand also. Can you just mention what that is?
Yeah, it's the Unraveling the Survival Note. I actually take you into that process. Okay. And I tell you step by step what I do during that process, so that you can get an idea of what happens at each phase of this really magical work. So.
Amazing stuff. Dr. Paula Smith. We thank you so much for being here. I know that's it. It's if I'm not mistaken, I keep checking the time. Like, has it really been 20 minutes? I can't be right. Okay, hopefully I didn't.
Right.
Hopefully I'm not off. Hopefully I'm not off. But I think it's been around 20 minutes. Dr. Paula Smith, we thank you so much for being here and for just giving us this amazing information and like your fresh perspective and it's just I really appreciate you coming on. And
Yeah.
I am Ellie Deutsch, and this has been the male-female dynamic, discovering how to ignite your relationship with more passion, intimacy, and connection. Hopefully, we will be seeing you again shortly.